Okay, so mine is going to be about mental health in the community, and the new fight that we cannot ignore. So mental health has always been a queer issue, but we rarely talk about it honestly. We are a community that is built from survival, but survival doesn't mean that you're okay. I kind of want to dip in and out of, burnout, loneliness, and event drop, which I just recently semi had, and how these battles are really real and why we fight them quietly. So yeah, it's to me, it's the new fight of our generation. It's like making sure that we have emotional safety. So mental health matters now more than ever. Our generation is facing constant pressure, not just economic stress, identity fatigue, specifically a lot of times with, title holders or public figures or whatnot. There's community expectations that, not only do we have in the community, but we put on ourselves, and also social media. Social media it can be a fantastic, beautiful tool, but it can also be, a bit of a weapon. And a lot of times it does hurt our mental health to constantly get on social media, and then you start to compare yourself with all these other people and what they're doing and where they're going and whatnot. So, um, many of us we don't have, supportive families, and that's why chosen families are so important in our community, because we always just sometimes just need someone to go to, just to talk to, just to maybe just get out our frustrations, and get us over the hump so we can get back to what is important to us in our community. Um, so with event drops, like after, really big events like MAL and Pride and things like that, I think it's one of those like quiet hits hard moments where you're just sitting there and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I'm not. And then you start to scroll through social media, the demon, and you're like, well, this person went there. Gosh, why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I do this? And then, it just the, the crash after the high is super real. And like I feel like people really don't prepare you for that. So that's something that I try to make sure that I'm very vocal about with my personal crash shots, as well as just being there for other people and just reaching out to my neighbors and my friends and my family, my community, and just making sure that everybody's okay. But I'm not perfect. I have my issues, and I have my moments where I have doubt and I feel like, oh, everything is crashing in on me. And family drama does not help. And that was one of the main things that happened to me most recently. But having some people there that I can always constantly go to that just listen. And they just, sometimes once you get it off of your chest, you can move forward. So I think having your chosen family, even if that's just one person, having somebody that you can go to is really important, specifically in these times. Um, so let's see, where else did I want to go from that? Uh, So yeah, basically going after what I just said, community care, checking in on someone who may or may not be okay. Even if you see them at an event, just checking in on them and saying, "Hey, you look so happy. I'm glad you're doing well." Something like that. Because you might get that person that says, "Thank you for saying that. Like, I feel like a mess," and then like, "No, you looked happy. Do you care to talk about it? Do you want to, go over some things?" So, just reaching out to our friends and our family, doing the thing that we say that we're all going to do in the community. When we're in those quiet moments and you're just like, oh, you're scrolling through social media and you see somebody's like, oh, let me just say a quick, hey, just saying hi to you, type of deal. So those types of things help. Um, a lot of times people will feel unseen at big events. I know I'm a victim of that. I'll scroll through and I'm like, there's no pictures of me. I was there. Like, what's going on? And then the demons get in your mind, and you're like, oh my God, like I'm not being visible enough. And what is my what are my title people going to say? And whatnot. So it's very important to remember that whatever you are, whoever you are, however you identify, you are still human, and so are they. And it's okay to not be in every picture or any pictures at all. Just make sure that you're having those moments when you're at the event that you can go back and say, that was a great moment that I had. That was a great conversation that I had. That was a great meal that I had or a class that I went to. So, and for me personally, I mean, missing my man also comes into a lot of it. And I'm just like, I don't have anybody to hold me. And I'm like, what is going on? And but yeah, just going back to the chosen family thing, having people that you can constantly talk to. Mental health isn't a weakness, and I know a lot of times speaking about it publicly, people don't want to because they don't want to seem like they're weak, or they don't want to seem like, oh, this person cannot, go for a title. Look at what they're going through, and it's like, that's a human feeling, and it's a human ideal, and the more that we realize that these human experiences are not unique, they're unique in their own way, but they're not unique in the fact of you're the only one that's going through it. That's going to make it better to feel like, okay, great, I'm not the only one that has had these feelings or have these feelings and have gotten over that hurdle, and talking about it more and more will really help, just help you get over that hurdle. Um, and like I said, we struggle to talk about it because you're nervous about looking like other than you always want to show up as strong and smart and sexy, beautiful, and the whole bit. And again, just the idea of it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to also be human and just to talk to people. Um, so, like I said, checking in with people when you see them, saying, "How's your weekend?" Also having fantastic sober options as far as dates, like a coffee date, just to get, rally back around with some of those friends and some of those people that and it doesn't have to be anything that's under the influence. I mean, it can be, but having those sober moments, I think, really helps with just getting your balance back together so you can get back out there in the world and do the things that you know that you want to do. Um, and of course, normalizing therapy and medication talk. It's okay to to need your meds, and have you been up on your meds, and how is everything and whatnot. So again, a lot of talking. You don't need a title to save a life. You just need your presence to save a life. So yeah, I'm trying to hopefully build a space and build a foundation within myself that people feel comfortable talking to me, because even if somebody's coming to me with their problems and I'm going through something, it takes my mind off of what I'm doing, and it's like snap back into community effort. And after that, I feel fantastic. And it's like I thank them because I say, you going through what you went through and coming to me helped me bring me out of what I was going through. So, that community bond really helps. And um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Mental health, I think, is it's not a side topic at all. It's definitely the foundation of our community. Um, we're so good at celebrating, but we must become better at care. It's one of the things that I wanted to, talk about. Um, and yeah, if we can come together for, community and events and things like that, we should be able to come together for mental health and awareness of that. So just wanted to hold space on that today because I think that's something that everybody can resonate with.